All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, YouTube? We're back with another episode of the SHIPIT Nation Witching Hour MLB show. It's the day before NFL opening day, but we're going to break down the 6-game slate. And it's a new face. It's a new winner. This dude wins in everything he touches. MMA, you've seen him up there in the leaderboards. NBA, you see him up there. NFL, our newest addition to the team over here, my guy Rio. HebrewCheetah, how we doing, man? Welcome.
Doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to pick some winners today.
Yeah, absolutely. I see a bunch of guys in the chat. Our guy Title in there saying Rio, screaming it from the top ropes. We love to see that. Jake Swales, Toga, everyone else in here, Sean, Mike. We love to see you guys in there. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Before we jump in and break it down, gotta give the promo drafters. I mean, the overlay is real out there. You got less than 20, a little over 24 hours, I should say, before you can gonna miss that overlay there. See if you can take down our guy Title, the reigning champion. Use that code SHIPIT, gets you a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. You deposit $100, you get a free $100. You got $200 to play with out there. Chase some overlay, draft some best ball teams. Got the rankings, got the shows right here on this YouTube channel from our guy Title and Marley, and then. Time is now. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Get in now. $321 gets you access to all of our premium content. Hoop and Tambo did the NFL preview show yesterday. All the incredible tools that we got coming for NFL. All the content we'll have you covered every single day, whether it's a quick hit, whether it's live shows, whether it's core plays, projections, tools, anything you need. And not to mention NBA season, NHL, which I'll be covering, everything. $321 gets you locked in for 6 months, includes the entire NFL season through the Super Bowl Showdown contest as well. So head over there, shipitnation.com, get you access to all of that. But Hebrew, we got 6 games on the tap today. We're going to go like we always do. We're going to talk pitchers first. Very interesting pitching slate here, and then we'll talk bats after that. Seems like ownership's going to be pretty concentrated or pretty spread out, I should say, in bats, but not the case on the pitching side of things. Obviously, we got a slate. We got Spencer Strider against the Cardinals, who haven't been great all season long. Pitching at home here, Spencer Strider seems to be the clear and away 55, 60% owned chalk, which is typically what we see Spencer Strider come in at on these smaller slates like this 6-gamer we have tonight. Usually when it's 10, 11, 12-game slates and Spencer Strider's 12K plus, usually his ownership gets kept in check. I don't think that's the case here tonight. Obviously, got some cheap bats like the Mets, which we're going to talk about, that make it very, very easy to play Spencer Strider here. So we'll talk Patrick Sandoval, 7,700 and up in terms of pitching. So it gives you Sandoval, Gibson, Verlander, Scherzer, Strider. Definitely hit on Sandoval, definitely hit on Gibson, and then obviously Spencer Strider. Those are the 3 that are going to get ownership in this range. Any interest in Scherzer or Verlander? Where are you going in this range?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to be starting probably with Kyle Gibson. I think it's a good matchup right now. Just the Angels kind of mailing it in this year. Really watered down lineup with no Trout, no Ohtani. So, he's got a good matchup, pretty decent price tag. I'm not super high on Sandoval. I don't really understand the ownership there when the Orioles are pretty dangerous squad up and down the lineup. I mean, they hit lefties pretty good. So I'd rather be looking to stack against them, but we'll get to that. And then, yeah, I'm not super high on the Scherzer Verlander side. I just think that both sides of the offense are just a little too good to kind of want to pick against them. So, yeah, for me, it's going to be Gibson first. And then, obviously, anytime Strider's on the slate, he has the highest upside of any pitcher. Just the problem is that he's so expensive, and you're really having to sacrifice some upside in your lineup, I think, when you're looking to play him. So I say if I'm building 1 to 3 lineups, I'd probably have him in one, but for me, I'm a single entry guy, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get to him, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. No, excellent breakdown. You and I play the same. I play 1 to 2 teams a night typically, and approach things differently. Right, obviously in MME, right? Spencer Strider. I'm not telling you to come on here and fade him in MME. In MME, I would definitely go over the field, I think, because he is going to be the chalk of the slate. But I mean, he's 12-3. And the thing about Spencer Strider here on this slate, in my opinion, is you're going to fall into a very, very similar lineup construction with the rest of the field. It's going to go Spencer Strider. It's going to go Clark Schmidt. And if you can't get Clark Schmidt, if you have a little bit more salary, people are going to go up to Sandoval or Gibson. Those 4 pitchers are clearing away the pitchers that everyone wants to play on this slate. And then if you look at the offenses, the highest team total, one of the highest team totals on the slate is the Mets in great conditions there. They obviously just went crazy last night. And if you look at their lineup, they're dirt cheap. I mean, 2,500, 3,100, 21, 22, 27. I mean, they'd have no one over 5K in that lineup. A couple bats in the 4Ks. Everyone else is sub 3K. So when you think about lineup construction in our single entries, Hebrew, people are going to play Spencer Strider and they're going to 5-man those Mets with that implied run total. 5.6, 5.7 implied run total there against Jonah Don, a pretty bad pitcher in good weather. So that's the reason that I'm going to be under on Spencer Strider here. I think in MME, obviously he's a great play. Spencer Strider, incredible upside. I just think I'm going to take an approach, right? I'm going to spend up for expensive bats again here and just get a different lineup construction. So Spencer Strider, obviously great play, but I'm with you. Kyle Gibson's my SP1 on the slate. The Angels, man, they're mailing it in. Obviously they did all those trades. I think they need to shut Ohtani down so he can get healthy and get that man paid because he deserves to be paid. Obviously no Trout in that lineup either. Lineup's not out yet, but the projected lineup, no Ohtani, no Trout. You got very, very weak lineup overall. I mean, it's pretty bad. Kyron Parrish, Trey Cabbage, Nolan Chanel. I mean, I haven't even heard of these guys outside of doing content every day. So I like Kyle Gibson, thinks he can get the job done here. And I'm really just looking for him to get me, I don't know, 15 to 18 DraftKings points, which I think is very much in the realm of his possibility here. I'm out on Scherzer, Verlander. If I'm spending up at salary, I'm just going all the way up to Strider. I don't think you need to get cute, to be honest, and mess around with Scherzer and Verlander in that game there. Both offenses can be dangerous. I just don't think you need to do it. And then Patrick Sandoval, yeah, I'm with you. I'm out on Patrick Sandoval, man. These Orioles, yeah, they have 4 bats in that lineup that do strike out a lot against lefties, but the rest of them are all low strikeouts and can all hit left-handers pretty well. Sandoval, I mean, sub 20% strikeout rate on the season again as well, facing a team that strikes out right around 20% on the road this season against lefties. I just much rather would play the Orioles side against Sandoval than play that 25 to 30% ownership on there because I do think him and Kyle Gibson kind of split the ownership there. I mean, they're all both going to come in very similar owned. Gibson might be a little higher. I'd much rather just play the Gibson side, to be honest, than mess around with Sandoval. So I'm out on Sandoval. So yeah, seems like we're in lockstep up at the top. If you can afford Strider, obviously incredible play. Sounds like you and I are going to spend more on some of these bats that we'll talk about than play Strider in our single entry stuff. And then we're kind of lockstep with Kyle Gibson. So great breakdown there. Sit on the rest of the guys on the slate. 2 guys I want to throw out to you. Number 1, Clark Schmidt, second highest owned pitcher projected on the slate, probably 40 to 45, 50% ownership. Obviously gets that Detroit matchup. We just saw Garrett Cole. Didn't have an incredible game yesterday, but did plenty. I mean, Garrett Cole had a great game. Obviously, Clark Schmidt's not the same caliber of pitcher as Garrett Cole is, but gets the same matchup there. Yankees should have a ton of run support behind him there. It's great. It is great hitting weather is one concern there in New York. So if you want to hit on that a little bit. And then Jordan Lyles, the other guy down here that I think gets some ownership. If people need to spend up, they're probably going to go Spencer Strider, Jordan Lyles, maybe get some of those Braves bats in there along with the Mets, along with some of these other teams. So I do think people do play some Jordan Lyles punting. Personally, I'm out on him, but anyone in this lower tier that you have interest in?
Yeah, I'm going to be out on Jordan Lyles too. I just kind of cringe at the thought of playing him. He's just a really, really bad real-life pitcher. The thing is, the White Sox might be a little bit worse than him, so I don't think it's the craziest thing. I mean, if you can get 14, 16 points from him, I think you'd be very happy. But I'm just not going to be going there personally. And yeah, Clark Schmidt, he's probably my favorite pitcher on the slate tonight. Really good price tag, really good matchup. Yeah, like you said, hitting weather is good, but luckily the Tigers don't have a lot of really good hitters. I think you could make a case for a mini with what do they have? Torkelson, Carpenter, pretty solid, but I mean the rest of their lineup is just not. They don't scare you. So I'm in on Clark Schmidt, off of Lyles, definitely going to be off of Tuki Toussaint, and yeah, that's where I'm going to be going.
Yeah, sounds like you and I are in lockstep. I'm with you there. No Toussaint, no Lyles in that game. I actually like both offenses a little bit there. Pretty good hitting weather there. Obviously, the Kansas City team, I talk about it all the time. I like playing them more at home. They've been good at home. They've been hitting the baseball well, and their guys continue to be cheap. I mean, Velasquez, how many does he need to go 10, 12 games in a row or something to get a price bump? The dude just keeps hitting home runs, and DraftKings keeps throwing him out there at 3,100 at the outfield spot. So we'll talk on that. I'm definitely out on Lyles, definitely out on Toussaint. Pitching is very easy for me. It's Clark Schmidt. I love Clark Schmidt. I love Kyle Gibson. That's my favorite pairing. It's not going to be super low owned by any means, but it's going to be lower owned than having Spencer Strider in there. So realistically, not really super contrarian in terms of pitcher takes for me here outside of being under on Spencer Strider just due to price point and roster construction. So I'll go ahead and rank my top, throw it over to you. I'm going to go Clark Schmidt, number one, all things considered. Kyle Gibson, number two for me. And then Spencer Strider would be the distant third, but I would probably play those three pitchers if I played three max and just spread it out, probably have one Strider and just mix around that. Pair him with or two Striders, probably pair him with each of those guys, and then pair them together in the third team, something like that. So go ahead and rank your three, and then we'll go game by game for the people.
Yeah, for me, I mean, even though I'm probably not going to be playing him, I have to rank Strider one, just highest upside on the slate anytime he's on it. And I do think you can get to him pretty easily tonight. Don't know if I'll be going there or not, probably not. But yeah, he's going to be one for me. And then I go Schmidt and then Gibson.
Perfect. Yeah, excellent breakdown. Sounds like we're in lockstep there. Before we go game by game, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Again, do want to bring it up again. $321. This price is going away very quickly here. Get you locked in for the entire NFL season, NBA season, which our guy Hebrew prints at as well. He's going to be doing content for that. You get MMA, you get PGA when it returns, you get NHL when that comes around, and obviously all of the NFL, which we're one sleep away from the opening evening there, Kansas City and Detroit tomorrow. $321, ShipItNation.com gets you access to all that. Get you access to that Discord where there's so many incredible people in there. One of the best Discords I've been a part of, actually hands down the best Discord I've been a part of in this industry. There's so many knowledgeable people in there. Not tilting. I mean, everyone's in there helping each other. So it's awesome to see that. Definitely head over there, jump in there. $321, absolutely cheapest all-in rate in the industry for all sports, which we love to keep it affordable. First game on the slate, we got Detroit Tigers and the Yankees. Matt Manning, Clark Schmidt on the mound. Clark Schmidt, obviously, you and I both liked quite a bit. I do want to bring up the weather here, 93, 94 degrees. Some slight wind blowing out to left field. Going to be hot. Going to be pretty humid there in Yankee Stadium. But, again, it is still the Tigers offense. And then definitely hit on these Yankees because these Yankees do have some cheap guys in this lineup. Austin Wells, prospect there. Jason Dominguez, the dude continues to crush. I mean, he's going to be an incredible player. I mean, all the hype around him, he had the same level of hype as Aaron Judge, if not more, coming up, right? So he's hitting in the 3,100 DraftKings, still not moving his price. The dude's averaging double-digit DraftKings points this year, so definitely hit on him. Hit on the rest of these Yankees because Yankees, I do think, are interesting against Matt Manning. Matt Manning actually ranks the worst pitcher on the slate in terms of our proprietary ranking system over here, and I'm seeing the Yankees coming in pretty low owned. I mean, the lowest of the other teams. I mean, they're 6th or 7th on the slate in terms of projected ownership right now. So I do think they make some sense and they're pretty affordable as well. So where are you going in this one?
Yeah, I really like some of the Yankee bats here. Like you already touched on, Jason Dominguez, kid's just a stud. I don't think we've even seen what his best ceiling performance could be yet. So price tag's amazing, hitting in the 3 spot. Really good play tonight. DJ LeMahieu, don't know where this just random burst of power came from for him, but last couple of weeks he's just been hitting bombs left and right. So I don't mind going there. I think his price tag's pretty cheap. Obviously, you can always play Judge. Volpe's hitting pretty good, batting 317 ISO over the last 30, so he looks pretty good to me. And then, yeah, Wells at a weak catcher spot, kind of round out a 5-man stack there. So yeah, I do like the Yankees a little bit here. Manning looks like he's a pretty decent ground ball pitcher, which I don't love to stack against last 30 days at least. But I don't want to read into that too much. I do like the Yankees here tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I'm on the Yankees. I do think they're good plays here. I definitely like the Wells there. I like Jason Dominguez. That price tag's too cheap. Stanton, obviously, yeah. DJ LeMahieu, I don't know where he's come from, but yeah, give me the fly ball guys. I mean, DJ LeMahieu, Cabrera, Volpe, Judge, Dominguez, they're all over 30% in terms of fly balls. So doesn't really scare me too much there in terms of the ground balls for Manning. He's just not a good pitcher. Doesn't strike anyone out. So I think the Yankees 5-man mini stacks make a ton of sense here. Gleyber Torres is up there in terms of fly ball too. And yeah, I mean, they're cheap. They're affordable. I mean, Gleyber Torres, we were paying mid-5s for him. He's down to 4,500. Aaron Judge is really the only expensive bat in that lineup. And we all know what Aaron Judge can do. Can definitely match anyone ceiling on this slate, even Acuna's, some of those guys out there. So love the Yankees here. Yankees, one of my favorite stacks of the night, probably top 3 when you consider ownership, because there's a lot of teams getting ownership that I just don't understand. We'll hit on that a little bit. Then on the Tigers side, I mean, you can always make the case, right? Leverage, especially on a smaller slate, 6-game slate. Clark Schmidt's going to be 50+% owned, I think, here. I'm personally on the Clark Schmidt train, but we've seen crazier things happen in baseball. So I wouldn't hate a mini stack with the Tigers, and it definitely centers around Spencer Torkelson, Kerry Carpenter right there, 3-4 in that lineup. But Akil Baddoo, 3,200 leading off. I think he's fine too. He's got some power there, so I don't hate him. But yeah, not a ton of interest on the Tigers side. But yeah, Yankees make a lot of sense here. Next game on the slate, both these teams are going to get ownership. Mets definitely going to be the chalkiest team of the entire slate, but I'm seeing these Nationals get quite a bit of ownership as well, 13 to 15%, give or take, in terms of stack ownership, at least from what I'm seeing right now. 5.4 implied run total, 5.7 for the Mets. Mets are cheap. Nationals are pretty cheap. 2 bad pitchers on the mound. Pretty good weather here. Let me just pull it up in Nationals Park. Yeah, 93 degrees, 91 degrees, some slight wind blowing out to left field as well. Obviously, the Mets went crazy last night. Now get another bad pitcher here. Good weather, very, very cheap price tags, high team total. I mean, they're going to be the chalk of the slate here. What are you doing with the Mets? And then hit on these Nationals who are also getting some ownership in this one.
Yeah, starting off with the Mets, I like a few of the bats here. I don't think the lineup is as good as I thought it was going to be now that the starting lineup came out. I was kind of hoping that Alvarez and your boy DJ Stewart would be in there because I really liked him tonight. Yeah, just this lineup's kind of gross. You can always make a case for Pete. He's got double dong upside every time he plays. Like Nimmo a good bit. McNeil's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can get there with the Mets personally. Thing is, Adon is he's a pretty bad pitcher, so I can see you stacking them up, but I just don't think I'm personally going to be going there. And on the Nat side, they make a lot of things work when you look at it. I mean, their best hitters are their shortstop and catcher, which is kind of a tough position to fill in most of your stacks. So, I mean, I like Abrams a lot. He's just been on fire second half of the season. Got stolen base upside, good power. Kabert's been coming around too, and then you got this Blankenhorn guy in the 4-hole, been hitting pretty good last 30 days, but 333 ISO. So, the thing I will say about the Nats is this Buto guy. I don't know how long he's going to go. I think last time he maxed out like 63 pitches. So, if it's going to be more of like a bullpen game, then I'm kind of talking myself off of them. But yeah, I do like Abrams a good amount also.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. I'm kind of in lockstep with you. I mean, these Mets, man, I think their ownership does go even more. I think their ownership creeps up even more, right? Because now you got a $2,100 catcher in there in Narvaez, and you got a $2,200 third base there in Vientos. So their lineup just got cheaper to stack, and they still have very, very high implied run total. So I think it boosts Strider's ownership a little bit, and I think it boosts these Mets ownership a little bit. And I think you're going to see a lot of 5-man Mets teams and a lot of Clark Schmidt and Strider pairings. That's just how the slate's going in cash. If I look at the cash stuff, I can almost guarantee you Title has a bunch of these Mets. He has Strider on there. He probably has Clark Schmidt because they're too cheap, right? For their implied total against a pitcher who doesn't strike anyone out, struggles with walks, struggles with fly balls in good hitting conditions. I'm going to be personally under on the Mets. I like them more as a mini stack. Pete Alonso is one of my favorite bats on the slate yesterday. I had him in my core. Obviously, he hit the home run there and got the job done. He's 4,700. I mean, I don't know. That's way too cheap. He should be upper fives, 6K for his upside that he's had. I mean, the dude just continues to hit a home run. So I like him. Obviously, 4,700 there. Brandon Nimmo, I think people chase there after the big game. Bat and leadoff, 4,200. I'm going to be under on these Mets. And then on the National side too, I think it's more of a bullpen game. I don't think the Butto is going to throw too long. I mean, maybe 4 innings max. Yeah. If he gets shelled around, I think he's going to come out, and then we're going to see bullpen. And I really just never love messing with the bullpen too much. Travis Blankenhorn has very limited sample size this year, but he has some good numbers. So wouldn't hate him. He's 3K. Nice one-off in the outfield, batting in the cleanup. And then CJ Abrams as well. I've been on CJ Abrams all year, talked about him a ton. So overall, I mean, this is probably one of the highest owned games on the entire slate. I'm going to be under on both sides a little bit here. Prefer just mini stacks. I don't think I'm 5-man stacking either side of this game, which I think is going to be a little contrarian. Personally, yep. Sounds like you're with me, and that's contrarian in baseball. Sometimes it is definitely good because baseball, right? Hall of Famers fail 7 out of 10 times. So next game on the slate, we have the Cardinals heading in to face Spencer Strider. Obviously, Cardinals implied to score under 3 runs against Spencer Strider. Dakota Hudson, though, on the mound. We know Dakota Hudson. He is a ground ball pitcher, but, man, he just does not strike anyone out, and now gets a very, very, very strong offense here in Atlanta. The only question is how can you afford Atlanta? And I think you and I have the same route, right? Which I think is going to be, if people do play Atlanta bats, I think it's going to be a popular route, but there's always ways to get different, like playing Orlando Arcia at 4,200 down there at shortstop in the 8 spot. Michael Harris, 4,500 in the 9 hole, right? There's ways to get different there. So I love the Braves. Braves, my favorite stack of the night. Again, I'm going right back to them. Obviously, didn't get the job done yesterday, but I think they get it done here against Dakota Hudson. Where are you going in this one?
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. Dakota Hudson, big ground ball guy, but like you said, just doesn't get any strikeouts. And I don't think that the Atlanta Braves are going to be a team that you want to be a low strikeout pitcher against. Anytime they put the ball in the play, it has the chance to leave the yard. So, yeah, I'm in on the Braves. I think we're going to kind of be on lockstep here, where it might be more of like a 3-man stack situation, just because just the way they price up all these Braves, it's really hard to get a 5-man in there comfortably. You might be having to go down to a Jordan Lyles or a Tukey, and we just don't really want to do that in this slate. So I think, my favorite bats are going to be Ozuna and Rosario. Just did a little bit more deep diving, and obviously Dakota Hudson being a ground ball pitcher, he throws a sinker 40% of the time. If you look at who the best hitters are on the Braves that hit sinkers, that is going to be Ozuna, Rosario, and Ozzy. So do with that what you will, but those are going to be my favorite guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in lockstep with you here. I want the fly ball guys from Atlanta. I think you can 5-man stack out. And I think the 5-man stack overall goes under owned. I do think Atlanta gets some ownership. I think it's going to be more mini stacks, right? Because to your point, it gets very, very uncomfortable trying to stack them up 5-man when you got expensive bats in there, right? It's very, very hard to play Acuna, Matt Olson, Ozuna, Austin Riley, Albies. I mean, it's just nearly impossible to play those top 5 together, right, at their price points. Unless you're just double punting pitcher, which I don't think is the move to do tonight. I'm trying to figure out a way to comfortably get a 5-man Braves here and just hope that the Braves do what they can do at lower ownership. But, 5-man, 3-man. I think 3-man makes more sense personally in terms of the roster construction. So I do definitely agree with you there. Love Ozuna, love Rosario. Those are 2 of my favorite bats on the slate. Ozzy Albies smashes sinkers. He doesn't have the greatest numbers overall against righties. at home on the season, but against Dakota Hudson's pitch profile, he does have incredible numbers. Austin Riley obviously hit a bomb last night. He's great. So yeah, I mean, 1 through 9 firmly in play. Same story, different day for the Braves. And then on the Cardinals side, I just don't think there's any need to touch any of these Cardinals against Spencer Strider. I don't care the leverage. I would rather leverage, like we talked about, leverage the Orioles against Patrick Sandoval than try and pick any of these Cardinals off against Spencer Strider, who could strike out 12, 14 bats here personally. So off of them. Next game here, though, I have interest on both sides in this one. This is probably definitely this is my favorite game. If you compare this game to the Mets Nationals, I think it's very similar in terms of both teams are cheap. Both teams have bad pitchers on the mound. So I think this is a spitting image of the game that we already talked about, that you and I were both under on it. It seems a little bit here. So I love this game. I love the White Sox side against Jordan Lyles. I think Lyles gets some ownership here. Jordan Lyles struggles with home run ball. Obviously, the White Sox, bad offense, but they hit some bombs last night against my favorite pitcher, which blew up in my face yesterday, is Brady Singer. But obviously, today's a different day. I like some of these White Sox, and I definitely love these Royals. I talk about it all the time. I love the Royals at home. They just hit the ball well at home. For whatever reason, they're way better at home. Low strikeouts. They hit for power. In terms of the weather in Kauffman Stadium, in the 80s, not the greatest weather, but wind's kind of blowing straight across the field, maybe out a little bit to right field. So not the greatest hitting weather, but 2 bad pitchers and 2 cheap offenses on the slate. So I definitely like both sides here. Are you with me?
Yeah, absolutely. More so on the Royals side for me. I really, really like playing the Royals every time they have a good matchup, because they have enough guys in the lineup that hit for power and have stolen base upside. And those are the 2 main things you want for ceiling for your fantasy lineup. So yeah, I love Bobby Witt here. I love MJ. Nice little 1-2 stack right there. I'm not really understanding why they have Beatty and Furman batting 3-4, but whatever. But our boy Velasquez just been on fire lately. Love him batting the 6 hole. You can make a case for any of all 4 of the outfielders with Waters and Isbell. I mean, they do have some pop and good stolen base upside. And then Nick Lofton at third base. They switched him over to third base now, which is nice. Batting in the 9 hole, so you can get a nice little wraparound stack right there. So yeah, I'm really in on the Royals tonight. For the White Sox, it's just a little gross to me to want to play them, but I get it. Lyles is probably the worst pitcher on the slate. It's just, yeah, it's tough for me to get to the White Sox. They do have some guys with power. Obviously, Eloy, Andrew Vaughn's got some good power. Lennon Sosa has been hitting pretty good the last 30 days at 303 ISO. So that's a righty-righty matchup, but he's cheap in the 7 hole tonight. So I like him a good bit. But yeah, give me the Royals here. Probably going to be my 5-man stack tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love the Royals here tonight. Give me the fly ball guys for the Royals. I mean, Tukey is more of a ground ball pitcher, about 40-50% to both sides of the plate, give or take. But Lofton, you talked about it, very limited sample, but he's a fly ball guy, hits the ball in the air there. Like him, Drew Waters, another fly ball guy. Love him. He's cheap. And Nelson Vasquez. I mean, you got 6, 7, 9 right there. All those guys are cheap. All fly ball hitters, can definitely hit for power. I like all of those. MJ Melendez is a fly ball guy. Kyle Isbell, fly ball guy. Bobby Witt. Don't love Beatty or Furman. They're just not good hitters overall, and they just have really good lineup position for whatever reason tonight. And Matt Beatty definitely Beatty hitting in the 3 spot at 2,200. I think you can always play a guy like that, but I do think it is a pinch hit concern for sure. As soon as the lefty comes in, I haven't looked at the lefties in the White Sox pen usage or anything like that. But assuming they have to have a lefty in there, and they're definitely going to bring a lefty in after Tucson, I would assume, with Melendez in there, Beatty in there, Massey's in there, Kyle Isbell's in there. I mean, you got 4 lefties right there, and then you got another lefty in Drew Waters, who is a switch hitter. So definitely think a lefty's coming in, but you're not playing for that. I mean, maybe they don't even bring in a lefty if the Royals jump on Tucson, which I do think is in the realm here. And that's why I like the Royals. Royals, one of my favorite stacks when you consider their price points. And I like the back half. The other night when the Royals were chalk, right? My favorite bats were the back half of this lineup. The same thing stays true, right? Massey, Velasquez, Drew Waters, Isbell, Lofton. I love that stack right there. I mean, leave the top 4 hitters off. those top 4 are going to get more ownership, and play 5 through 9 right there. Very cheap, fills positions that you need, right? Second base, third base, obviously takes up all the outfield spot, but then you can spend up for guys like Matt Olson, right? Other guys like that, and make a lineup work. So I definitely like the Royals back half. And then the White Sox side for me, it's just a bet against Jordan Lyles just being Jordan Lyles, right? We know what Jordan Lyles is. We've seen this tape before. I mean, he's not great. I do think this is one of those situations, though, that you could play both sides. If you need a punt pitcher, I mean, I think Jordan Lyles is the guy you would go to. But, I mean, dude gets hit for a ton of power, doesn't strike anyone out. I mean, he's given up a 331 ISO to both sides of the plate over the last month. Fly ball rate of 34%, which is actually higher than his ground balls. So fly ball pitcher against a team that isn't very good. So, I mean, it's the battle of two shit. Sometimes a diamond comes out, right? Give me the fly ball guys. Luis Robert would be my favorite. And then Lenyn Sosa is another fly ball guy there that you brought up. Yohan Moncada is fine. So definitely prefer more mini stack on the White Sox side, but don't think it's the craziest on this slate. I mean, they're still implied to score almost 5 runs for the team that they are. So definitely like that game. Next game here, I think I'm definitely going to be under on, obviously, 2 good pitchers here in Verlander and Scherzer making them on, but also 2 good offenses. I just like other spots better. You can't play every game on a 6-game slate. This is one I'm hoping just a pitcher's duel in there, but both pitchers kind of go out there and get maybe 20 DraftKings points and just don't do enough to break the slate. And I'm hoping this game's like 4-2, something like that, which I think we see here tonight. So I'm under on bats in this one. Do you see something I'm missing?
No, I think I agree with you pretty much. I could make a case for the Astros just because they've been one of the hottest teams in the league last 2 weeks. I mean, Altuve's hit 5 home runs in the last 2 games. Jordan's still kind of getting back to form. Tucker always has high upside. Brantley's been hitting good since he came back from IL too. Obviously, it's never comfortable to stack against somebody like Scherzer, who's just a beast of a pitcher. But I don't think it's the craziest thing if you're doing something for like a large field, mixing in 20 lineups, 150 lineups. I think you should probably get a couple Houston guys in there. It's just it seems like a big leverage play to me. They could be 3% owned. And then the Texas side, they're slipping a lot right now. Verlander is a little bit more hittable than Scherzer, but it's just I don't think I'll be able to get to them. Seager and Garver have been crushing lately, so you could get to them. They're both over 400 ISO last 30, which is just insane. So I mean, you could make a case for a Seager one-off. He's got highest upside on the slate, along with Acuna and Judge. But yeah, not going to be stacking them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely under on bats in this game. Kind of just under on the whole game in general. I just think that the price points up with those pitchers up there. If I'm spending up there, I'm going up to Strider. I'm just finding the extra $1,300 to get up to Strider personally. So under on that game. But this next game, I do have interest in one side. It's going to be the Baltimore side here in Angel Stadium. Pulling up the weather, obviously not the greatest weather out there in LA, but it's decent. I mean, a little bit hotter than what we have been seeing. Wind about 9 to 10 mile an hour winds blowing straight out to center field. So good hitting conditions, temperatures in the 80s, which is good this time of the year for LA. And these Orioles, I mean, 4.85 implied run total we have them at against Patrick Sandoval, who's going to be 25% ownership. At least that's what I'm seeing across the industry. Sign me up for some of these Orioles guys. Give me these righties at Ryan Mountcastle, James McCann, if he's in there, a very cheap righty. Jordan Westberg's been good. I like him. Austin Hayes against the lefty. I love that. So I love these righties for Baltimore here against a pitcher over the last 30 who has almost a 20% walk rate to the right side of the plate, gets hit for a little bit of a power too. So he starts struggling to find a command. He's going to have to come back with some fastballs into that zone. And Ryan Mountcastle loves a good fastball in the zone against the lefty. So love Ryan Mountcastle, one of my favorite bats on the slate again, but I like all these other righties as well in here, especially James McCann, if he's in that lineup, 2,700 at the catcher position, it is a nice price point there for him. Are you with me on these Orioles? And then these Angels, I think we're both off on. Kyle Gibson, one of our favorite pitchers, both of us on the slate here. Talk to me on this one.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you on the Orioles. Yeah, they're really good versus lefties, and I think Sandoval is a real life pretty solid pitcher. this year has been a little up and down for him. He's been getting hit around a little bit against righties. So, and if he's going to be high owned, I mean, that seems like a pretty good leverage play to me to play Baltimore. Definitely prefer Mountcastle. I like Hayes a lot. Gunner's probably going to be low owned. I know our boy Pensack would probably say to play Cedric because he's always on him. James McCann, super cheap catcher, got some pop, saves you a ton of salary off Adley if you don't have enough to get to him. And Santander, big power guy, not hitting that great lately against lefties, but if they go to a righty or if he runs into one against him, I think he'll be okay. And he's batting second, so a lot of at bat opportunities there. So I'm definitely in on Baltimore. Not sure if they're going to make it in my single entry stuff, but if I'm running 3 lineups, I would definitely have a full stack of them. And then Angels, just completely off of them. You can make a case for Rengifo, I guess. He's been pretty hot lately, but Drury too, he's been pretty good. Just I don't see it here. I'm on Gibson, so I'm going to be off of the Angels.
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you here. I like the righties for the Orioles. Don't sleep on Mateo down there. Probably going to bat 9th at the shortstop position, 3,200. Shortstop's very weak today, unless you go up to the top. Guys like Seager, we talked about C.J. Abrams. Obviously, Orlando Arcia is there. So Mateo at 3,200. That's a nice price point there at that low 3K range. And he hits lefties pretty well. 191 expected ISO on the season, strikeout rate sitting right around 16%. So give me these righties, especially the guys. I mean, the guys that have good plate discipline too. Looking at the walk rates here for these Orioles. I mean, Austin Hayes sees the ball really good, almost a 20% walk rate over the last month against left-handed pitching. Adley Rutschman's up there, Ryan Mountcastle. So those guys against a pitcher, I mean, he's got a 19% walk rate to right-handed bats over the last month. So definitely like these Orioles. The Orioles are definitely one of my favorite stacks of the night here. And Angels, no thanks on the Angels. So that's going to do it for bats. Let's go ahead and give the people, before we get our favorite pitcher, lowish owned pitcher, which is going to be kind of tough on the slate, and then our home run call. We'll rank the stacks. I'll go first here. Braves are my number one. I love the Braves here tonight. I just think as a 5-man stack, they go overlooked a little bit in terms of, because they're expensive. They're hard to fit in. You got to make some things work. So I'm going Braves number 1. I'm going to go Kansas City in up there. I'll go the Yankees, and then my lower owned team is going to be those Orioles that we just talked about. So those are the 4 teams that I'm going with tonight. Where are you going? And then we'll go our pitcher calls.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Kansas City up top. I just really, really love the power speed combo of the team. Love Bobby Witt, love MJ Melendez tonight. So I'm definitely going to have those guys in there. Second would be the Braves. I already talked about the guys I like: Ozuna, Albies, Rosario. Obviously, you can 5-man stack them if you could find a way to do it comfortably. And then I'm going to go Baltimore and Yankees 4 for me. And then my low-owned stack is going to be Houston.
Perfect. Awesome. Excellent breakdown. Let's go ahead and give the people your favorite lowish owned pitcher. Obviously, don't put Spencer Strider in there, but anyone else I think is fair game. I think let's leave Clark Schmidt and Strider. Obviously, everyone knows those are the clear and away, quote unquote, best pitchers right on the slate, the chalk pairing. So give your favorite besides those 2, and then we'll go home run calls.
Yeah, really, it's tough to find one on a 6-game slate, but I think for me it's going to be Justin Verlander. Never fun picking against the Rangers. We know they have 6-8 run upside every game. Doesn't matter who's pitching against them. I just think Verlander's a good enough pitcher in real life to come out victorious in this one. And they have some gettable bats in this lineup with Adolis' 41% K rate over the last month. It's just massive. And you got a couple 25%ers towards the bottom of the lineup. So yeah, Verlander is going to be my low owned pitcher.
No, awesome. Excellent breakdown there. Love that. I'll go Kyle Gibson. He's not going to be super sneaky by any means, but that's tough on this slate. I think 8,300 against a team that's kind of mailing it in, I think is a good spot there. So I like Kyle Gibson to bounce back here tonight, have a good game. Let's go. Let's do it. Home run call. I'll kick it to you first. Who's your home run call of the evening?
Have a feeling I might be taking your guy here. But for me, it's going to be Ryan Mountcastle. I think he goes deep. I'm going to say in the first inning.
First inning home run for Ryan Mountcastle. We love to see that. He's our top ranked hitter over here. Give the people a little sneak peek of our ranking system. He's our number one overall hitter on the slate. So I like that call. You didn't take my guy, but I'm going to my favorite stack of the night. I'm going to Mr. Eddie Rosario in the outfield there. Just like his price point, 4K flat. I think he gets the ball in the air. He can do it with his legs too. I think Mr. Eddie gets it back on track tonight with a bomb. That's going to do it. We appreciate all of you guys tuning in for Hebrew's debut show here. You're going to see a lot more of our guy Rio HebrewCheetah here. The dude just continues to win on everything he touches in terms of DFS. Very, very excited to have him on the squad here. You can catch his content in the Discord. He's going to be doing NBA stuff. He'll be on the NFL doing NFL content as well. We'll have you covered for the NFL Showdown, which is tomorrow. We'll have all of our content. I know Hoop, Title, and Tambo, I believe, are going to be doing a Showdown show as well right here on this YouTube station. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified when we go live. But good luck tonight in your MLB contest. That's going to do it for us. Hebrew, his debut. We appreciate you, Rio. I'm Nades. We'll catch you guys next time. Good luck.